It's so cute to hear your kids just doing their things. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Oh boy, that's a lot of pressure. Hi. Google. Come on, man. Yeah, no kidding. My god. Technology is ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely believe it. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like somebody can hear us in chat. Hopefully, maybe? You can hear me? Oh, hi. Welcome to my one-sided conversation, I guess. You can hear me at least.
I think they can hear me now. They can probably hear me
I hope
now.
they can.
Well, I just unmute my
It's
OBS.
not just a Oh, yeah? It's not just a simulation of me having a complete conversation with myself and the voices in my head in my basement now.
Okay, well. Oh yeah, I can hear you on my phone. Let me turn that down, otherwise that's gonna be really confusing. Oh my.
I hope it works.
It should. I hope they can turn off my camera without my mute happening, any muting. Which then allow
I
me
hear
to
you now, they say.
which then should be allowed me to turn my camera on OBS.
Mhm. It's coming together. Here I am. Boy, do I look goofy. I think that every time I see myself on stream, but ooh.
Oh, okay, cool. I am up, and we are okay. Yay! There we go.
It's happening. I think.
Happening. Yay! Okay, I think they're gonna be able to. And then there's kid noises in the background. How are the ads on YouTube today? I have no clue, YouTube. I'm just gonna say awful because I wasn't watching an ad. I'm just trying to keep my stream going.
For the love of God, please, YouTube. Just please. I see you. Nice.
people watching now. Woo. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Casual Chat Stream. As you can today we have the lovely Chat-Mort. Say hello,
Hello,
dear.
everyone.
All
Hi.
5 of you. We have our usuals here. We have I would probably call him the chat stream chief. We have Izu. He is there pretty much
All right.
every single that I make. He is my primary.
Sweet.
I think my record is 8. 8. What does that mean? But yeah. So, folks, we're just gonna kind of have some casual chat. We had some really fun casual chat earlier while we were having a lot of technical difficulties because Google is they're the most best amazing product ever. We love you. Keep working.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're
so
doing amazing, sweetie, as the kids say.
yeah. Yeah, so oh, viewers at peak. Yeah, I think 8 might have been one of my peak. Yeah.
Ah,
I'll look at my
okay.
analytics for that. So yeah, while we weren't able to be live stream at the time, Chat-Mort and I were having great conversations about how YouTube is just really just kind of terrible. Google products are just really fucked up. Yeah, she and I both kind of feel that there's probably some sort of targeted shenanigans going on because it doesn't seem any of the massive YouTubers are really getting hit. And it's been
Right.
happening for a couple of months now, and that's during all of their major problems that they are having right now. Like, there's, a lot of their political, and they're making massive changes. Adpocalypse 2.0 is coming, and we all
Mm-hmm.
know that they want to change the platform up because there's the borderline content now that is, apparently new boogeyman. So we gotta target that. Gotta target that borderline
Yep.
content. Oh my god. I am going to edit your.
Yeah.
I'm going to edit your picture here for a sec because it looks like I am getting. Actually, I guess I can't because I'm getting my.
Okay.
If you look, can you see in your picture there?
Yes. Yeah.
That's because I don't know how to get the full screen going on right now, and I really don't want it to screw up. So we're just gonna
Yeah.
kind of let it be.
Just gently leave everything and pray it stays semi-intact.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly what we're doing. As a matter of fact, I'm even turning off my mouse so it doesn't even get in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think that there's that going on, and well, yeah, as you guys know, it was just like what, like 2 months or so ago, I started having massive technical problems. Izu probably knows the exact date. He's because he's the chat chief. He probably knows. And hell, Killing Joke keeps saying he keeps having troubles. Oh, your video has froze up. Uh-oh. No. No, did it happen? Oh god. It looks like folks were still continuing to have more of that lovely technical difficulties with the YouTubes. Well, actually, Hangouts, not just the YouTube. We'll have her back up in a moment, folks. 3.0. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, join Hangout. Michelle is in the call. That is Chat-Mort. I'm not telling anybody's name. She already has that out. So I think.
Hello.
Hello. I
I
think
see
we
your
have.
icon, but I don't hear you.
Oh, balls.
Do you hear me?
Still can't hear me, huh?
Google in general is trash, says chat. Yes. Google in general is trash.
Yeah. I think they can hear you, but they can't hear me. And you can't hear me.
Okay, I hear you.
Uh-oh.
I think.
I just turned off. I just tried to read Google. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, but now there's no picture of you. Yay! Awesome.
Yay! Sweet! That's what we get. 45 seconds of criticizing Google, and they nuked you.
Yep. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good, because I had to. I popped my camera back on in OBS. Hopefully now we're still. Things are still thinking.
No.
Which means I'm pretty sure everybody can still.
No.
Yay, they're being loud in the living room again. But I can see you and hear her. Okay. I hear you. Okay, we're still waiting on your video to come up.
Telling you everything over and over again.
Yay, now the 5-year-old's acting up. You can still hear me, correct? Or did I die again? Oh, I died it again. I think I'm back. I think I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I see your icon.
And you can't hear me.
Please, God, please. Just let the technology work as it was designed to. Please.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? What the hell? Can you hear me?
I don't know if you can hear me. Probably not. But I can see your icon again.
So I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can't see you.
Can you hear me? Oh. Well. Hi, I'm glad you can hear me at least. Just a small kernel of hope into properly functioning technology.
Which means they can hear me talking. They can hear you.
Use it like this.
But we can't hear each other.
Why, Google? Why?
Because you can't hear me on here.
Oh, nice microphone. Good microphone. Is it working?
I don't know yet.
Please. Please work. Please, technology. I will pay you to work. Actually, no, I won't. I shouldn't have to bribe technology made by a multi-billion-dollar corporation to do the bare minimum of what it's meant to do. I'm stupid.
Hello? Hello? Hello, hello?
I definitely need another beer.
Me.
Google, since I know you're listening to us, to me,
Well, they can hear me, sure.
I just want to tell you that I hate you. Every one of you that works for Google. I hate your families. I hate your grandparents. I hate your hamsters. I hate your belongings. I hate your life insurance policies. You're evil. You're detestable. I hate you all. You're monsters. We know you're doing this on purpose. And smelly. And I hate you. And I know you can hear this. So please take that to heart. Freaking God. I'm just going to type something. Oh. This is ang-
Oh, I hear. Can you hear?
Okay. I'm hearing
Yay! Yay! At
your
least
voice
something
very faintly.
faint. Why am I so faint? Okay, say something again. Oh, bloody hell.
I can hear your voice the faintest bit and a bunch of like terrible like technology disintegrating sounds much louder.
Oh, lovely. Well, how about now?
Still pretty bad. I hear you very faintly. I hear your frustration.
Because we're trying the Discord route this time. Okay, that's video connected. Now it says it's nice and connected, but I still don't have any video. No video.
No, I just hear like the sound of a million tiny robots beating each other to death.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Okay, we're gonna try to recall you,
And
and
nothing else.
we're gonna recall with voice chat if that connects better. So give me a sec. Okay, authenticating, connected, and how about now?
I hear you a tiny bit and I'm still hearing like
Okay, hang on a minute.
really I don't know what it is, like really loud staticky noises.
Can you hear me better now? Do you hear me better now? No, that's weird. What the hell? Okay, hopefully this is better. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you a little more.
Okay, well, we just switched over to earbuds because apparently that's what's working best. And well, chat's having fun probably listening to just a bunch of air. I mean, we're still streaming, and it's let's see,
Strange noises.
can I make this a full screen thing? What can I do? I don't even know how to use in chat VC. I don't even know how to use our DM VC. Oh, that's my settings. Nope, we don't need that. Oh, input device. It's using the webcam. That's, oh, well, maybe we can fix that. Two. Boom. Okay, how about now? Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Okay, yay.
Yay! Thank.
So, what it had been doing was because I had called you at first, it was using the webcam's microphone,
Well, that's not.
which apparently picks up my computer's fan.
Yes, that might have been the sound of like 1,000 tiny robots beating each other.
Yeah, yeah. So now we're going to try to switch this over to this mic. Okay, much better now? Still? Good?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yay.
It's good.
Okay, so I don't have to wear the
Yay!
fucking earbuds. I don't. They're falling apart anyway because I bought them off of Wish, and right where the two lines connect from the microphone area, they're like basically connected just by the wires now because all of the plastic has fallen, but just pulled apart.
Yeah.
Oh, we should check chat and see what they think about our super casual chatting here.
Yeah. How you guys doing? Are you okay?
Yeah,
You
can
still
you guys
there?
still hear us and listen to our, I don't know.
Can you hear our suffering?
Berserk Shirt Bear said, Google is like a dice I once rolled, where every time I rolled and called it gay, it rolled a 1.
So true. Thank you, Ezub, for me. I appreciate
Okay, well, at least we have, oh, what's this? Can I turn on screen share? No, I don't need a screen share. Why is she? That'd be weird. Well, hopefully chat is able to hear us now. Still good and stuff. Chat, if you can hear us, wave.
Yeah. Anything.
Right?
Please let us know.
I mean, we'll have fun chatting with each other like we have for the past, hour now.
Yeah.
Though we were supposed to do this as a stream.
Indeed. Yeah, that was the plan. It feels like swimming through a sea of thumbtacks. Like, that's what this process feels like, and I'm sure it's worse for you because you're the one trying to orchestrate everything.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know, I know what my computer is capable of, and I know this isn't just my computer acting up. I know this is Google being a total dipshit.
Mm-hmm.
And right now...
You hear that, Google?
Yeah. Yeah, listen up, Google. We have some words for you. And they're choice. And contain a lot of cursing.
Yes.
Yes. Now what do we chat about? I kind of lost my...
Man, I don't know. I mean, we were discussing how Google is freaking terrible.
Yes.
Which is probably why the problem started. You know?
Yeah, it was like, oh, they're talking because we were talking about politics and our different things, and they're like, oh yes, this is the material that we want, right? This is what we want to
Mhm.
listen to, so we can know how to target them and stuff. And then it was, oh,
Mhm.
they're talking shit about us. Stop working. Nah, nah, nah.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, you can hear us. Cool. You can you. It was sparkly. What was the
I
sparkly pink
I'm not
thing?
helping.
Yeah.
I don't know. The die,
Oh
maybe?
yeah, yeah. That's what he was.
Wave.
Wave.
Does
He
that mean he
waved.
can hear us?
Yes. Yes, he
Oh,
can.
thank God.
Right? Woo!
Hello.
Oh, it worked! Yay!
Oh my. Uh,
Yep. Well, you get to see. Everybody
so
gets to see inside of my Discord. Ooh, that's like dirty or something.
spicy. I'm always so scared when I do like a screen share by accident. I'm like, oh God, what are Google's autocompletes? What's happening? Nobody look. I don't know what's happening. Very stressful.
Right? I'm just happy that it's all working and like we're able to be not not. It's finally
Yes.
it's working.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was saying to you earlier, and I don't know if chat will agree or not. Not me, chat, but the chat. That's not funny. I'm sorry. But a multi-billion like a multi-billion-dollar corporation like this is not this incompetent. Like I was saying to you when we were supposed to be streaming, but when Google was shitting on us,
Mm-hmm.
is that it's not like this tiny little group of people. It's not like 10 developers running around frazzled, not getting any sleep because their product's not working. This is Google. For them to be screwing everybody over, for all these streams to be so bad and not functional, it's absolutely, in my opinion, by design. There's no way it's not. And I
Oh yeah.
mean, the other thing I was thinking is, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Well, I was just gonna go along with that of saying that since they listen and see everything,
Mhm.
they know demographically what type of people we are and where our political standings and who we like. I mean, they obviously know who we
Yeah.
subscribe to and like the videos and watch on their product YouTube. They know all day long. So it's so much
Mhm.
easier for them to go, well, this group of people, we don't like them. Let's just fuck them over because we have all these other
Yeah.
people that we can continue sucking the resources out of so we can make our product richer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and we've seen Twitter. I mean, this is just my opinion, but I think I'm probably not too far off. Twitter clearly, with like 56 tweets in a 58 tweet thread, are just this tweet is unavailable. Clearly, another massive like tech monopoly is not above making their product look completely broken, like their code is completely broken, in order to control the conversation. They don't care how bad that makes their platform. They prioritize like appeasing their super progressive leftist shareholders. So, it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be that much of a stretch for Google to be doing the same thing, just making things look like they're breaking naturally to suppress certain people.
Well, definitely, definitely. I mean, and as we were kind of saying before we started having more other modern, connection issues, is well, technically, apparently, it's Adpocalypse 3.0, but yeah, with all these Adpocalypse things going on, they're really just yeah, it feels like a massive kind of like Gestapo witch hunt to steal Trump's word.
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
that they're just going and hunting down the witches and removing us all one by one and slowly from their site until they have
Yeah.
cleansed the heretics from their site, and then give it another couple years and they'll have a new branch of heretics, because either some of these people will then go, wait a minute, maybe those people that they purged from their site actually weren't too bad and we understand what the hell they're talking about
Mhm.
now. And then YouTube goes, oh, more enemies of the state, begin the purging.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, or, with progressivism, they always end up eating each other. You
Oh,
know,
well,
everybody's so desperate to be the most self-righteous and the most correct that they inevitably will all turn on each other at some point. They always do.
well, regressivism is like the Ouroboros. They're the snake perpetually eating its own tail, you know,
Yeah.
and they just will not learn. And matter of fact, that they like it's this big like dick waving pissing contest, except you can't use patriarchal terms like that. So
Exactly. Gender neutral, flappy bit
well, you know,
waving.
they've apparently, this was in some health textbook somewhere, but front hole and back hole are the appropriate
I
terms.
heard that. That's very interesting.
I'm
So
never
what
gonna
about people who biologically have 3 holes? How do they refer to these things?
front hole 1, front hole 2, or middle hole,
Ah,
front
oh,
hole, middle hole, back hole. I I don't know.
HDMI 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, yes.
I don't know.
And those are the people, like, honestly, with all of these crazy gender movements and sexuality movements, it actually makes me feel bad for the actual people who would be truly in those categories. The people who are actually
Mhm.
transgender, the people who are actually hermaphrodite, intersexed, have some sort of chromosomal thing, or you know, those are the people that I actually feel bad for, because these crazy nut jobs are not doing them any favors, and I feel in a lot of ways they're making it worse for them.
Exactly. I think if I were, if I were intersex or something like that, I would
Mhm.
be disgusted and humiliated that I'm being, like, shoved out there in the public sphere to excuse all this terrible behavior by these people, you know? I would think most people like that, they just want dignity, they wanna be left alone. They don't want people to know that about them, so they can just be judged based on their actual character. And
Mhm.
social justice, like, shoves these people without their consent, to use SJW terms, into the limelight to use them as a shield to behave horrifically toward normal, decent people. I would be disgusted, you know? I would be insulted and I don't know, just real shitty, you know?
Yeah, I'd be pretty upset too, because like I have a transgendered cousin, and he, granted where he's at, he definitely experiences a lot of things where some of the things these gender type warrior SJW gender warriors scream about, some of the things that
Mhm.
they scream about where he's at makes sense, because he's in a heavy Bible Belt area.
Yeah, so it would be harder.
Yeah, he actually has experienced like the real oppression of, you know, you work at a restaurant and this person goes, I don't want that freak to be my cash register person. Why? Because they're
Wow.
trans. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that would
Awesome.
be a living hell, you know?
Yeah, and like he's experienced that, but some of these other crazy things that they scream about, this whole you have to call me by whatever pronoun I identify as, and I'm like, no, no, we absolutely don't. I agree with Dr. Peterson that no government, no or agency should make forced speech in this way. And even my trans cousin, now granted, like he doesn't really like it when people call him female or whatever in a malicious way,
Mhm.
but if it's just totally they don't know, or for some reason he wasn't like I'm pretty sure he's got his name legally changed to a masculine name, but if there was, I think
Okay.
there was for a while that he had like two IDs, and so they'd see the other ID with the female name and it would just be her all the time. Like that's kind of frustrating, but
Yeah.
like stuff like that is understandable. And like most trans people that I really know, like my cousin, they don't give a flying fuck about that. They're like, ooh, anybody's gonna do that. Hell, if I wasn't like, if they maybe they wore like a purple sweater that day and nobody thinks that they're a girl, like that's just gonna happen. Like it's
Yeah.
just gonna fucking happen. And most trans
Mhm.
people don't give a fuck. But then there's those other ones
Exactly.
that are like, you know, you've never seen me, but if you see me on the street, you better know from a block away that I'm a woman and it's ma'am. It's like, dude,
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, as a matter of fact, now that you're screaming that it's ma'am, yes, sir. Alrighty, dude. Like,
Exactly.
like if you're trying to like aggressive, that's also the way how I feel about religious folks coming at you with, join our religion or XYZ horrible thing. God will
Yeah.
punish you to hell if you don't become a Christian. It's like, whoa, now. If you told me that I'm gonna just miss out maybe on some like really cool extra hugs and stuff from Jesus, that's much better than like you're gonna burn in hell if you don't,
Yeah.
like, you when you die tomorrow, you're gonna burn in hell. It's like, um shit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Exactly, like, if people get in your face and are aggressive, nobody except people who are, like, super, like, terrified and submissive and desperate for approval are gonna be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, okay." Like, if you get in people's faces, if you're combative, if you're accusatory, people are gonna resist you even more, you know? And I think that's the problem with progressivism. I think people, like, in the Bible Belt, the actual people who are genuinely super misogynistic or racist or transphobic or however you wanna,
Mhm.
you know, articulate it, they are pushing back even more because they're sick of being treated like monsters,
Mhm.
inherently for things that they can't do anything about.
Yeah, they
Like,
feel
people
like
who
what
are
they're doing is
genuine and
correct. And like,
yes.
there was something that I saw a couple years back that made me kind of understand that point more and maybe understand like how all of these sort of progressive and leftist politics that, like, I'm totally for gay marriage, but at the same time I understand why people be upset when the government comes in and goes, "It's legal now. It's decreed." It makes them feel like
Mhm.
they're not valued as Americans anymore, that they're not that their vote, their citizenship, none of that values or counts anymore. And so like I understand them and I feel bad, like, like, granted, I don't like their actions, but I feel bad
Mhm.
for the oppression that they're getting just for being, bumfucks who don't know any better because for as far as they know what they're doing is the way and should only be the way.
Mhm.
Yeah. I I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to pop out of chat for not pop out, but mute for a second. That
Okay.
second cup of coffee is doing its
Okay.
rental fee. So if you could entertain the chat while I mute for a sec.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Well, dear chat, now that you are completely at my mercy, I'm so sorry. Another thing along that train of thought is in the same vein, I guess, is the idea like of make racists afraid again. That whole talking point has been peddled and put constantly by the extremists, by the progressive left. And I completely understand the sentiment that, like, somebody who's a despicable, awful, genuinely bigoted person who doesn't just come from a place of ignorance, but a place of genuine, um, like, voluntary hatred, I get that you would not feel as if those people are worthy of being understood and respected. I understand not wanting to approach those people with compassion and trying to appease them and, through kindness and decency, prove them wrong and try to change their heart. I understand people who have been victims of some kind of discrimination or racism or, any kind of discrimination. I get thinking you are not worth my time, you are not worth my effort to try to change your heart by being decent when you've been horrible. But when you treat people in that super confrontational, accusatory way, i.e., make racists afraid again, you are basically vindicating those people. Because where does racism come from? Where does bigotry come from? It comes from fear. Fear makes you angry, and anger makes you take that anger out on different people. So I I understand, I think it's justified to want to be totally dismissive toward people who are awful and bigoted in some way. But when you are super nasty and combative to those people, you're only pushing them further that way. You're telling them that they're right. You're telling them that all gay people, all, people of color, whatever minority it may be, they are combative and awful and irrational. You're going out of your way to make people who are racist feel justified, and you're going to create more of them by making all people of your minority look terrible. So, you're welcome. There's my little soapbox speech on that, on just being really combative toward people whose minds and hearts you should be trying to change.
And I agree. Yeah, I've been back for a minute, but I let you finish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, she said it there pretty well. I mean, I can agree with a lot of that because that just yeah, I mean, yeah, they may be bigots, but that doesn't necessarily mean you treat the bigot like a bit like you don't get more bigoted. Those damn
Yeah,
bigots, I'm gonna just be just as bad as them, but worse to prove how bad they are.
exactly.
It's like when you rub shit on your face to somehow make them look dirtier, you just rub shit on your face, and now you're covered in
Mhm.
shit. Like you didn't prove anything, but rub.
Exactly. Yeah.
All you prove to us
Yes,
is
like,
you're crazy.
yeah, I'm going to be the negative stereotype of this minority that these horrible bigots already that's gonna change their mind.
Yeah,
Got 'em.
yeah, exactly. Got him. Winning.
Yeah,
Like no, no, no. You're not. No, you're actually doing the
yeah.
opposite of that. Like, but they won't learn. They don't want to learn. They feel even more entitled. That's also another thing I've noticed that the farther you go on various sides of the political spectrum, more
Mhm.
prevalently and more visually noticeable on the left. The farther you go to the left, the more entitled you feel to everything and everyone around you. So you
Yeah.
feel like it's up to you to uh, virtue signal, and it's up to you to, you know, rub the most feces on your face to prove to everyone how clean you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm like, can't you guys see? Well, I guess they can't see with all the shit on their face. So no, they can't.
Yeah.
They really cannot. There is literally
Yeah,
too much shit on their face to see.
exactly. Well, it's not about civility, the left 10 years ago was about trying to change people's hearts,
Mm-hmm.
by living your life and leading by example, changing people's hearts and minds about whatever minority you wanna, use it as an example. And it's not that at all anymore. It's become the negative stereotype that the right used to hold. People don't care about changing hearts and minds. They don't care about actually changing legislation and cultures to embrace, different minorities. It's just all about virtue signaling. It's all about justifying your own fear and anger and hatred toward anybody, whether it's white people, straight people, men, the whole like guise of civility or the genuine intention of civility has completely been thrown out the window and rejected?
Yeah,
Like
I
if
don't even
you're
feel like
wrong,
they
if they
hold on to
disagree
even a
with you, they
facade of
hate
it.
you.
Yeah, they don't even have a
Yes,
facade of it. It's just straight up, you don't agree? Fucking Nazi, everybody kick him in the face. It's like, what?
exactly.
10 years
Yeah.
ago, you guys would have went, "Oh, we don't like those people. That's totally unkind and cool. That's not how you get a point across." Today, they're like, "If you don't scream and call them Nazis, you're doing it wrong."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and it to me, the scariest thing about progressivism is how like, people who 10 years ago were trying to turn the other cheek and try to live by example, now feel like if they're not screaming at you, if they're not threatening you with violence, if they're not slandering you with disgusting accusations, they're not being a good person. Like, how do people not have the clarity of mind and the self-awareness to realize I am a completely different person than I was 10 years ago? And it's because of the media, it's because of politicians, it's because of, like, political and social leaders, and people just have so little self-awareness that they don't understand, and that's genuinely really frightening to me. Yep, I agree. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. 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 And I think that feeds into the cancel culture type phenomenon that's going on now. People don't realize that when they're feeling so good and self-righteous by completely condemning someone for saying one really nasty thing or one thing that might be flawed or close-minded, if we start treating other human beings in this way, where like one transgression, one politically incorrect, or one ignorant thing said is enough to destroy your career, rightfully, everybody's careers are going to end. Everybody's reputations are going to be destroyed. Nobody is perfectly innocent. You know, people are capable of change and growing. And I don't think people think about that. It just feels so good to like rail against a celebrity or some influencer that you always secretly hated that people don't realize everybody, if somebody decides they don't like you and start digging into your past, into your, like, footprint online, you can just as easily be destroyed, you know, and people will feel like they're good people for doing so. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Chat is saying Chat is saying they can't hear you. I don't know. I can hear you, but that's not helpful. You knew that already. That is weird. I can hear you, but that doesn't help. I mean, in a way, this is justice, you know? A man's voice is silenced so a woman can share her experiences. You're doing a good thing to Yeah. Yeah. Somebody or Berserk said at 4:19 that you were silent. Well, that's 4:19 my time. 3, 2, 1. At 1:19 your time, Berserk said you were silent. I don't know if they can hear you right now. Okay. Mhm. Hmm. Can you hear him? Please let us know. I see you. Oh, okay. Please let us know, chat. Can you hear him, or is it just me rambling to an empty void? Yeah, this is true. I know. Mhm. I've done that, or one time, I've got a snowball microphone. I'm sorry, chat, I'm just gonna take over. Please let us know if you can hear him or not. Um, but my cat that's the reason why the cats don't come in the room, the same reason your kids don't come in your room. The cats only get on the desk when I'm streaming. and one of them just barely brushed the microphone with their fur, and my mic was silent for like 10 minutes, and the chat was like, "Yo, we can't hear you," and I was just rambling and rambling. I was so happy. Oh boy. I nobody nobody has said whether they can hear you or not. No, Berserk Shirt Bears. Oh, yeah, they're saying, "No, you're still silent." I don't know. But yeah, Ezub said we've had this happen before. His laptop just hates him, so yeah. You guys should pretend that I'm having a conversation with you and fill in the till till you can hear him. Well, if it makes you guys feel any better, we've been having a really great engaging conversation. Probably not helpful at all.
Okay, chat, can you hear me now? I just changed the audio input on OBS, as you guys might see on the video there, to directly to the mic. Even though it was already
Can you
on default for mics anyway, so.
Yes. Please let us know. Can you guys hear him now? Please say yes. If that's
Yeah, give them a sec.
yeah. That sucks too. Even if you don't have latency turned on, that little delay can be really hard, trying to remember what you just said that chat is responding to and stuff like that.
Yeah. Thankfully, with the like 5 people I have on, I'm able to pay attention.
Yeah, that is nice.
I'm watching myself do the things on the stream, so.
Me too. I'm watching you be tech support. Berserk Shirt Bear says yes.
Sweet.
Oh my god. Can you guys hear? Yes.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank
Awesome.
God.
Finally. Jeebus. Jeebus on a pogo stick. And I didn't even have to shake this at you. See, chat, you guys can see this now. Many of you who have talked to me on the Discords have probably seen the pictures, but now you can actually see the real thing. It is gorgeous. It has a nice heft and feel to it, and where the carving is, it fits perfectly in my hand. It's like where you're supposed to grab it. It's like right there. Okay. Enough show and tell. Let's
That
get back
thing
to.
is really cool.
Yes, I will. That's why I sleep with it. Yeah, I was telling one of my buddies that last night. He's like, dude, I sleep with all my knives. I mean, yeah, if you got some good pieces, it makes sense sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah, it really does.
And if you live in weird areas, it might even be better to have your weapons on hand. Thankfully, you don't really have to worry about that where I'm at. There have been some knife and shootings in the last couple of years, a few near my neighborhood, but not exactly in my neighborhood, so I've been mostly safe.
That's good. Yeah.
I mean, though if somebody were to try to come at me with a knife, I would laugh at them. Unless they were like, they better know how to actually use the thing.
Yeah.
So on my left arm, I mean, I'm not going to be able to show it in on the camera really because it's my skin's too pale.
Mhm.
But I have a scar on the side of my left arm where a guy tried to fight me with his knife. I didn't have a knife.
Really?
Yeah. I disarmed him,
Wow.
and he ran when I was going to put it into the back of his knee. I was going to,
Wow.
right there on the top of his kneecap. I was about to stab him in his kneecap, and he took off running.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he was not very good at it. But yeah, I disarmed him. And I had to, I guess, use part of my bone to disarm him. Because it cut all the way down to the bone on the back of my arm. But like right there in that lock-up spot where I was able to lock it up, disarm it out of his hand, and then I had it and I was coming down towards his leg. Because he's like moving back, so he didn't have his hands at me. So he was moving back, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put this into your knee. And he's like,
Wow.
oh my god, this guy disarmed me. He's bleeding, and he's about to put the knife in me. I'm running.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't usually have to get in too many altercations. I generally don't. I find for some reason most people are intimidated enough by the beard that I don't have to do anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, like if I wear them, I have a big long denim duster. It's a cattleman's duster. So it hangs really low. It looks really nice. It would, if I'm on a horse, it would be perfect on the horse. Make sure to close the door, please. Kid, my son loves to go in and out of the bathroom, and the bathroom is connected to the bedroom. And he thinks that, so if I'm in here streaming, he won't close the door. But if he's by himself, there's no one in the bedroom, he will close it so his sister doesn't come in to bug him. And I'm like, dude, I'm streaming. Nobody needs to hear you slamming the toilet seat and peeing. Nobody needs to hear that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Besides, I'm sure YouTube would try to probably tell me that I was doing something inappropriate anyway. It'd be like, there's nothing inappropriate going on. I just have an oblivious 5-year-old.
Yeah.
But, so I was saying, when I wear that black duster, most people are pretty intimidated. There'll be people that probably would give me a weird look. If they were like some unsavory person, they'd give you that weird look to see if you were a mark. If I'm wearing the coat, they don't even want to look at me. They're like, that guy is scary. He's got a big long black coat. And I'm like, but I'm actually a teddy bear most of the time. I smoke a lot of weed. I'm pretty calm and chill. I'm also a Buddhist priest, so I'm all about the abide.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm.
Now, are you?
Hmm?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, are you pretty tall? Is there anything else about you that's super intimidating, or is it just the beard and occasional fat?
I'm 6 foot, and I'm 185 pounds. I don't know. I don't think I'm that intimidating, but I guess I come off as more intimidating. I don't really know.
Huh. That doesn't sound too scary, but then I've conversed with you before, so I know you're not terrifying.
Yeah, I'm not terrifying. No, I mean, I can be. I mean, I have this brutal axe here, but unless I have to totally keep my family safe, I'm not gonna mess up my axe with somebody's skull bits.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're gonna actually try to kill me and my family? Okay. I will cleave your greasy pate in twain.
Yeah, I guess I'll dirty my beautiful axe for this.
Right? Yeah, this thing is. Let me show chat the rest of it, because I showed you. I don't think I showed chat everything of it. So,
yeah, that thing is gorgeous.
Well, I have a minute and a half of delay. Oh, holy cow!
Yeah.
How do I fix that? That's got to be somehow fixable.
I don't know. I know there's always a couple second to half a minute delay. But yeah, maybe that is excessive. Maybe that is correctable.
That's gotta be correctable. And I don't think it used to be that bad. I really don't. I think it used to stream so much better. Huh. Okay, well, it's catching up to me with the axe in my hand now, so I can show them.
Isn't that weird to watch that delay?
Yeah. It was like, when it was recording, that was the future, but now I'm watching the past, which was the future, which isn't now.
Yeah.
But here you go, chat. At some point, you'll see it. There is an axe blade here with a very beautiful, shiny, beautiful edge on both sides. It is beautiful. It's pretty damn sharp. And then there is a stamp, a branded stamp. And it's got a nice rune in it, which is cool, because it's the same rune I have on my arm. Was not planned. That's just their business stamp.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I thought it was even cooler as soon as I saw the Athila on there. I have that on my arm! Yeah. I feel like I almost cut my thumb there. That would have been hilarious. Not hilarious.
Yeah, that might be against terms of service.
Yeah, they might be, we don't approve of violence on your stream.
Yeah. You accidentally just severed something important and had to go to the hospital. Demonetized.
Yep. It's like, you thought you were eventually going to get monetized. Not now. We're just going to go ahead and say no to your channel forever.
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter is being very adorable, hanging out in the bedroom while I'm streaming. Hi. Hi, sweet girl. Yeah, they can't look at Bear. Because Bear is considered children. I can't, because they might consider that pedophilia, and that will definitely get my channel never monetized.
Yeah. Well, and that's a bizarre, sad thing, too. You know, people can put completely innocuous, innocent things online. Like, you could just put a video of yourself playing with your kids online for your family to see. And because there's so many freaking perverts out there, everything is, like, immediately awful and creepy and perverse because of how they're going to do things.
Dude, and that was really bothering me when I was reading about that. I'm just like... And what I was also reading is that YouTube their algorithm is helping it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So because what it'll do is it'll suggest more videos of the things that you've seen and the topics and areas that you've seen. So if you got these fucking pedos who go onto YouTube to look at family vids of girls running around in their bathing suits or something fucking gross like that, then they're going to get more and more of these videos, and these families, these children are just getting exploited by Google to support these pedos. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, again, more things to talk shit on Google with, but this is what they're doing. Like, and that's not acceptable. If they're supposed to be trying to make this big stand on pedophilia, they need to fucking fix that. And when they got confronted with it, they didn't. They have not done anything really to fix that. It's still happening today that, you know, if you're a sick fucko, you can continue to get more videos suggested to you of content that you will use inappropriately.
Yeah.
But God forbid, if I want to live stream and have my son sit next to me, I'll get immediately the video won't even be allowed to show probably. Their bots will probably fucking shut my stream down.
Yeah.
It's like, but...
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, you can obviously see that my son's sitting next to me. There's nothing going on, right?
Yeah.
But in this video where this child is getting exploited by the pet, like, there's, I mean, also at the same time, like, these parents shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable to upload a video of their kids playing at the beach or at the swim park or whatever. Like, that should be totally acceptable and allowed, and there should be some way to prevent them from doing this, while at the same time giving parents who want to watch some of these things, because maybe, they want to see some other families' video of the same theme park, Like, that's understandable. So, like, I get that. I get where Google's like, we don't want to fix that because what about these folks? But there needs to be something done. Like, if you, like, Google knows all. They can look at your search history and shit. If they know that this is a fucking pedo piece of shit, then fucking
Exactly.
don't let them get more of these videos. Show them freaking videos on how to not be a pedo or something. Like, give them anti-pedo ads and they'll be like, uh-oh, Google is spying again.
Yeah. Yeah, or a bunch of, like, how to clean and use your firearm videos to put the fear of God in them or something,
Right? Yeah, don't get me started on those fucking Ace and, not Ace, but the map and no map people. Oh my god, they piss me the fuck off. And when I first found out about it, I didn't really know what it was. I'm like, map. The first thing I thought was Dora the Explorer. And then other people said, I think that's why they did it, so that there would be that conclusion too. And I went, oh, those fucking sick fuckers. But, like, so there's a part of me that can understand if you're like, okay, I have this mental illness, right? Because, like, I as somebody who does work in the mental health field, right away I have an acceptance of mental illness. So if you got, like, I'm going to accept you. It's your mental illness. And if you're like, okay, I'm open, I know I have mental illness, I'm never going to do these things, I'm seeking treatment and counseling, medication, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I will support that type of person all day long. But if you're like, I'm not mentally, or I am mentally ill, but you should glorify it, and it should be totally okay that I have a group of other pedos online that I interact with and we hunt children with. It should be totally okay. And if you disagree with it, you're an oppressive bigot. And I'm like, oh, fuck you. And that's what these map and no map people are. And I'm like, you should not be allowed to have a club. There should never be allowed to have a club of anything pedophile. You should not be like, hey guys, we're the pedo. No. No, you need to be shunned.
No solidarity.
Yeah, none. Like, let society know that we do not tolerate you and your kind.
Yeah. And I'm really frustrated and disheartened as somebody who, it makes me sick to my stomach to say it, but as somebody who technically falls into the LGBT community, being bisexual, it horrifies me that more people who are, like, super proud of and flaunt the LGBT label like it makes up for a lack of personality or something. It's horrifying and shocking to me that more people aren't, like, resoundingly across the board denouncing these people and telling them, you are revolting, you are not part of our movement. You would think that would be a pretty universal thing, especially since conservatives, super conservative, were always saying it's a slippery slope. If you let gays get married, if you accept gays, pretty soon child molesters are going to be arguing for acceptance. Like, you would think that would make these people even more, like, vehemently denouncing it.
Right, but they're not. And it's like, those wingnut conservative conspiracies aren't wingnut anymore, and this is really upsetting because all of us who knew otherwise knew this wasn't what it was supposed to be. Because, like, I have a transgendered cousin. I lived in San Francisco for 4 years. I support gay people. I don't give a flying fuck, even though now at the same time, I'm tired of these gay pride things. I'm over it. I also think this whole straight pride idea is laughable too. But for me, I'm at the point, what you do in your bedroom, car, wherever the hell you do your fucking, what you do with your fucking is to with who and whom you are doing the fucking with. Not me, some random Joe Blow on the street. I don't give a flying fuck if you like the dick in your ass or you give dick to the ass. I don't care. I don't care if you like to rub your vagina against another vagina. I don't care. Only time I'm going to care is if A, we're doing this stuff together, B, I'm looking at porn. That's it. And I don't give a flying fuck. I don't give a flying fuck if they're straight, they're fucking gay, they're trans. I don't care. That shit's unimportant to me, and I'm getting really tired of it being thrown in my face and being told that I don't want it thrown in my face. It's just me being a bigot.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like everything is gay. Everything needs to be accepted as gay. Just fucking, why aren't you gay already?
Yeah.
Because I'm not. You hetero patriarchal sexist man. I'm like, but you guys tell us that we're supposed to accept and like what we like, and then at the same time, liking what we like is considered bad. So they that's
Yeah.
like the same breath they tell you, you know, sexual freedom, like who you like, and then if you say, well, I'm not into a trans woman, oh, you horrible bigot, why don't you like them?
Yeah. How dare you like who you like, you monster?
Yeah, well, I don't want to trans. Why? I'm like, I, I, I because that's just not. Not into that, man. Like, I don't care if they are. I
Yeah.
don't go flying fuck. Just the idea of something having tits and a penis at the same time is just kind of very, very, very awkward. What am I supposed to do with all of that?
Yeah.
It's like, I know what I do with mine, but I don't really want to do that with yours.
Exactly.
And then you got boobs, so I'm gonna be distracted by those, and then keep just kind of up and down and going. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed
Yeah,
to
it's
do
all
here.
very confusing.
Yeah. But to each their own, and like, so with that being said, to each their own. Like, I don't want to have sex with a male to female person, a trans like that. No thanks. But the people
Yeah.
that do, yes. But for them,
Yeah.
and I've also noticed this is a occurrence across the board, and no matter what the thing is, generally the people who are whining and screaming most about oppression are people that will have never or will never experience the oppression they're screaming the most about.
Exactly.
It's like some straight white woman is yelling at you about how you don't allow the black, albino, lesbian, midget, transgender people, how you don't have sex with them. And you're like,
Yes.
but I don't want to have sex with
Yeah.
black, albino, transgendered, lesbian midgets. And they're like, you horrible bigot. Like, but are you a black, albino, transgendered, lesbian midget? And they're like, no.
What?
Yeah, why don't you let those people speak for themselves if you think they should be so respected and you think like our voices should be silenced so they can have their time, you know?
I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading on chat here. Yeah, to be fair, the straight pride parade was not. I mean, yeah, I agree. It was designed to be a joke, and in some ways to try to point out the absurdity of freaking everything constantly being gay pride parade. I mean, like, the way how I feel is, okay, maybe there are areas or places in the U.S. that might still need a gay pride parade to be like, look, we're here, we're gonna be here, like, fuck off.
Yeah.
But like, Miami and California, we don't really need a gay pride parade. Like, everyone knows. And we also see it enough on our TV shows. Like, how many TV shows do you know today that do not have a gay person in it? At least one. There's at least that one token gay character in almost every TV show.
Yeah.
And, over half of the characters are going to be black anyway, so it's not like we have the one token black person anymore. So I feel like on TV shows, everybody's getting mostly racially, all the colors are being checked off the boxes.
Right.
So apparently that's important. The way how, for me, it's always been, can they act the part? If they can act a part, it doesn't really fucking matter unless it's a historical sort of thing. Like, if you're doing a video about ancient Rome, your actors probably shouldn't be, like, black and Mexican, because it would make no sense. But, like, if you're doing something about, like, semi-modern UK, have a melting pot. It doesn't fucking matter. If you're doing that, that really wouldn't fucking matter. But if it's something, like, historically accurate, it's got to be the way it's got to be. But nowadays, that's considered racist.
Yeah.
Like, if we did,
historical accuracy is racist.
Yes, historical accuracy is racist, and or cultural appropriation, which is also racist. So,
yeah.
And I'm like, if cultural appropriation is racist, then pretty much most of the food we eat in America we shouldn't eat because it's not from our culture. a lot of the clothing and clothing styles and clothing colors are from other cultures besides our own. Blue, like blue jeans. That is, I think it's North American or maybe Northern South American. Like, it wasn't denim and stuff wasn't originally fully American. It was a color imported from somewhere. So like, that's not even like us. Like, there's all these things that we are like, this is U.S., this is our culture, and it's like, no, it's not. That came from these people and those people, and that's a blend of those two continents things. It's like, everything we do is cultural appropriation, but they will never understand that.
No, as long as it inconveniences someone they don't like, it's okay. If we actually took that the whole way, all of these cultures would be completely separate, and many people who have been lifted like out of poverty and out of essentially the dark ages due to our cultures mixing and our technological advances and our medical practices mixing, many of them would still be impoverished. Many of them would be dying from very treatable and preventable diseases. If you want to go the whole way and completely stop cultural appropriation, you're basically segregating people in the worst, legitimately oppressive way possible. Especially people in like African countries, that if it wasn't for some of our medical advances, wouldn't be surviving, wouldn't be as prosperous as they are.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And like, the way how I've always seen it is any way that we as just a people, like, you have to share technology, you have to share culture, you have to share people. This is how it works. This is how we as a species evolve. This is how we as a species keep going on planet Earth. If everything's like with plants, if you monoculture your plants, they're all going to end up dying. They're going to get a virus that's going to take out the whole crop. If you only have like one type of corn growing and some sort of corn mite comes in, all the corn in the world is fucked. And that's sort of the same way with people. If we only had like one tribe of people, the first time an STD goes to that tribe, that's like what, 75% of the population gone. How is the people going to keep going? So and like, I do get some of these people's, I get a lot of everything from bigotry to racism. Like, I understand biologically where a lot of these things come from, and it's the fact that we have a species, as a species, we have a xenophobia, and that's from the fact that we are afraid of viruses and diseases. So we didn't want to interact with another clan or tribe just in case that clan or tribe had bacteria and viruses and diseases that we didn't have, and we didn't want to have, that would wipe us out. So that's where a lot of that came from. And there's also the fact that we don't know if these people over here have technology greater than us that's going to wipe us out, and or magic. Because there's the saying that magic is really just technology that's greater than yours. In a lot of ways, I mean, if we went back in time, we took a fucking cell phone, we are God, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
We are straight up God. We have a device that we can do anything with. We are God. We project an image out of our hand. We are God. Nowadays, we're like, I projected the image out of my phone. Well, and I do. That's how, like, I'm watching the stream. Like, and but
and there are places in the world, if you got plopped down there today and you showed them your cell phone, they would still think you're a god. They would be terrified of you. And those are the cultures, those are the communities that are completely isolated and not mixed in with other cultures.
And those are some of the cultures that you actually have to protect. Because, like, even though we as a species, we need to branch out and breed with other people and adopt other cultures, other technologies, other languages, other thoughts. We need that. At the same time, we also need to keep these tribes safe, because they have technologies and ideas and thoughts and stuff that are greater and better than ours, but we have diseases and ways of thinking that will just destroy them. That Berserk Shirt Bear says, if you don't trade your stuff, someone will try to come and take it. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Because then human nature comes in, of the whole jealousy, and then also just the general fact of we want to survive, and we're seeing that this person has better means of survival than us. We're like, I need to take some of that from me so me and mine can survive. Even though nowadays that really manifests as jealousy, and it's not out of an altruism to protect oneself or one's family. It's just I need more power, I need more money, I need more, I need more, I need more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just goes to show you that so many of these people who think that, cultures intermingling are evil and horrible and inherently like predatory and colonialist in some way. They are the epitome of privileged people. They've never had to deal with oppression. They don't understand how harmed some cultures are by isolation. They don't understand the kind of like geopolitical discord that creates. When you do see another culture with some kind of technological advancement or resource you don't have, if you don't trade, if you do not, engage in some kind of agreement and relations with those cultures, they will start destroying each other and invading one another. And it takes an incredible amount of ignorance, and it takes an incredibly decadent, cushy life to truly believe that total isolation and total segregation of cultures is truly going to benefit so-called people of color, people in less developed nations.
Well, yeah, well, you kind of hit it on the head when you said that we have all this time to just dwell on shit, and that's, we live in a time now where we have less poverty, we have less starvation, we have less diseases, and we have more technology and more things that allow us to more conveyance of ease. We have vehicles, we have internet, we have phones, we have fast food places, we have all of these things that allow you to have things easier, which then gives us more time to just sit around with our thumbs up our ass because we no longer have the struggle to survive. We no longer have to struggle, which makes us more creative, makes us stronger, which makes us do things. We now just have the time to sit on our ass, drink Mountain Dew, eat Doritos, play video games, and get really, really, really fat and just complain about everything because now we're noticing all the things that we hadn't had time to pay attention to and we kind of pushed to the side, that now we can't push to the side because all the other things that we'd been doing before to distract us is gone now. So we can only pay attention to all of our different social issues that we've had for a long time. We've had them.
Yeah.
We've had them since we started really being people. And they just now
Yeah.
manifest in a way that we can palpably see as we see it now. But these are really just problems that have existed for a long time that we haven't fixed. Because before, we didn't have time to fix it. Now we have time to fix it, but we're not really fixing it.
Yeah, we're really not. It's one of those things where a lot of the sentiments that are sort of the root of progressivism are noble. The things that are true liberalism are noble things.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to look at the world around us and figure out how lucky we are, how we can enhance things and help other people. But it's one of those things that's so easily perverted into just self-righteousness and hatred, this armchair activism that so many people engage in now, and they don't care about, they've lost sight of actually trying to improve the world for people who are less privileged. It's just turned into this thing where people can feel better about themselves without actually contributing anything to society and their community, as long as they point the finger and call everybody bad names.
Yeah, and we don't really have community anymore. We don't have the village. We just have these large metropolitan sort of lifestyles and stuff. Which, I mean, we obviously we're going to go to the large metropolitan stuff, but at the same time we need to try to recultivate that because we're a species that can't be too small and close together, but we really can't be too far and spread out. And that's where we are now, is we're really too far and spread out, and there's too many of us in too small of locations. We're kind of one of those happy medium in the middle sort of people, like even with our temperature range of like how we can survive on planet Earth. We're just a happy middle ground. We can't have too much of either thing. And we're in the too many people, too spread out, not enough closeness, not enough, okay, we care about each other, we can see each other's problems, let's help things. Now we sit on the internet and we complain about Russia, we complain about frickin' this, that, the other. While at the same time, like, I do my fair share of complaining about the things that happen in the UK, but I can't do anything about it. But now that's all we really do is we sit on the internet, which internet, great tool, but at the same time, the internet has definitely contributed to our complacency and retardation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have this amazing thing at our fingertips to make us extremely intelligent, but at the same time, it makes us extremely dumb because we don't actually have to do anything.
Yeah.
There's no struggle anymore. People say necessity is the mother of all invention. It's technically strife.
Yeah.
We invented the wheel because we were getting tired of walking. So the necessity became out of our bodies are destroyed and we can't freaking drag the backpack full of all of our gear. So the pain created necessity. So pain is the mother of all invention. And we don't have the pain anymore. We don't have the pain stimulus. We have Netflix. We have Amazon. We have I can freaking push it on my remote and order a pizza. Like, don't even have to use my phone. I can use the remote that my TV is connected to and order a fucking pizza, and Domino's will bring it to your door. Like, all that dumb shit. That's the society we live. That's what we live in. Which, while at the same time, we need that sort of technology. That technology is bringing us to greater places, but at the same time, it's not. It's making us fat, lazy, and complaining little bitches that actually are making our problems worse.
Yeah. When everything is handed to you essentially on a silver platter at the push of a button, you're not working for anything anymore. There's no urgency, and because there's no urgency or no strife or pain, like you said, there's no purpose. There's no realization of I am capable of overcoming these things and providing for myself. We are just all kind of complacent, and while everything is so accessible and just like a click away, you buy something on Amazon and it's there in 2 days without you really having to work for it, that robs us of our ability to experience any rugged individualism and to create any kind of self-confidence,
Yeah. We don't really have that motivation, and that like that's the reason why I feel like there's such a pushback from I can't think of the word right now. The not modularism. It's where your worth, your meritocracy. That's why there's such a pushback towards merit-based thing, because there's no desire for you to. But it's what can your group do? What has your shiny flag said that you can do? Not what you can actually physically do. And that's why there's all these groups, and everybody has to have all of their flags, and nobody does anything. It's just a bunch of complaining. I'm LGBTQIAABC 1 2 3, and ABC 1 2 3. Yeah, that's what every time I see LGBTQIA squared whatever, that's what I'm like. Yep, Alphabet Soup Club, and their theme song is from the Jackson 5.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very dehumanizing, and that's very much by design. That's how progressivism works. That's how you destroy society. You belittle and downplay the significance of the individual. I can speak English, I assure you. You downplay the individual and you glorify the group, so people feel no sense of self and no importance, and you feel like you can do nothing without relying on your group identity and what your group has accomplished, and when people are like that, it's very dangerous, because the only way people feel important and understood is when they subscribe to groupthink and only act and behave as part of one group, as opposed to actually thinking about what they're capable of as individuals, as opposed to actually acknowledging that individual responsibility is a thing. You don't grow as a person. You don't find any peace or happiness as a person when your entire identity is tied up in some nebulous group, like LGBT or whatever ethnicity or culture part of. It makes people angry and lonely, and they don't feel recognized, and then they feed in even more to these identity politics and this groupthink.
Yeah, and it continues to also feed into the that just not taking personal responsibility. It continues to feed that.
Yeah.
If I'm in a group, I don't have to take responsibility because it's not me, it's the group. And we
Yeah.
tear apart the thing by there not being there's no individual, there's only the group, and that way they also don't have to take responsibility for their actions. So when as the more sort of totalitarian, the more authoritarian, the more just bad they become, they don't have to take responsibility for that action because it's the action of their group.
Yeah.
It's like also the concept of like a leaderless movement, which leaderless movement is just like there's leaders, there's obviously leaders, but nobody's taking the responsibility of it publicly. That way there's nobody to blame anything when their movement becomes a bunch of shit face smearing assholes. They don't have to take
Yeah.
responsibility for any of that.
Yeah. And you see, I mean, I got off Tumblr a long time ago. I tried so hard to just wade through all the madness on Tumblr to just enjoy the beautiful art and stuff like that. But people are so blind to the fact that when you see these like mile-long posts about all these political movements and how actually white men were actually responsible for every single evil thing that's happened throughout the history of mankind,
And you're like,
this
what?
is not an organic movement. Yeah, these are coordinated people. These are very, very calculated strategic efforts to create this action and movement within this
Mm-hmm.
group. You
Yeah.
know, progressivism and things like that, they're not these genuine, organic, from the ground up movements. They're very carefully orchestrated, but it's especially with the internet and stuff like Tumblr, it's so easy to do it behind the mask of anonymity and to look like, well, I'm just one of you guys, as opposed to somebody who's in a position to where they're going to gain a ton financially and socially from being able to push people into these movements.
Yeah. Well, it's I usually do 12 to 2 and it's a little after 2. We could go to 2:30 if you want, or we could stop it now since I know we were like took like what an hour before we were actually able to do anything.
Of strife, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I can go either way.
Oh, I got a ton of messages on my Discord here. Hang on. Oh, he was telling me he couldn't hear me. He found some salmon jerky. That's yum. I love salmon jerky.
Nice.
Dude!
You ever had it? I don't know. Where do you live, by the way? I mean, not like where do you live, but
I just live in kind of like sort of northeast US, kind of. I grew up in Ohio, so I'm pretty much like I will always be scarred by the culture of like rural Ohio.
ah,
I've had goose jerky. That's the most unique jerky I've ever had. And it was the way I acquired it was all very strange. And I probably, my sense of self preservation should have kicked in and I should have not tried it. But I tried it and it was interesting.
yeah, yeah. I've had gator tail before. That was interesting. Uh,
Yeah, I've had that.
you have or you haven't?
I have not.
Yeah, it's kind of like steak chicken stuff.
Interesting.
It's like if like steak and chicken nuggets became a like an actual thing, and then you add kind of a prehistoric gamey flavor to it. That's gator.
I don't care what you like. I like it on the floor.
Weird.
Yeah.
Put it on the floor.
Well, the funny thing is, so chickens and things like that, they're actually birds are lizards. Birds are reptiles.
I guess that's true. I never think of that in the
So,
context of like I'm eating a bucket of reptile when I go to KFC.
well, yeah, if you go like deep into like what biologists and stuff they study, that they are their only divergence is how they sort of evolve, but they come from this. They're from the same line. They're from the same thing. That like
Yeah.
So like chickens are related to velociraptors.
It's such a strange thing to think about, you know? When you look at them, you're like, yeah, I guess the structure physically of those things, they are similar. So it does make sense that evolutionarily they're connected. But you just categorize them so differently. You know?
Yeah, we categorize birds and reptiles as these completely different things, but they're really, really not that different. They're just,
Yeah.
once you go far enough back, obviously all the visual differences and stuff is just like what, but one has feathers. Well, if you go up under those feathers, they've got like scaly lizard skin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
They
if you
have
think about it, like, yeah,
turtles
like
have
chickens are
beaks.
just these tiny assholes, but if a
Yeah,
chicken was as big as a T-Rex, it would be equally terrifying and you might see the resemblance more.
yeah, yeah. They would be
You
a
know?
little. Yeah, I'm sure they'd be a little more T-Rex armed too, because like those little chicken wings, but now the size of a dinosaur, like big T-Rex. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. T-Rexes were actually apparently really good runners, and they could jump pretty well.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Well, here's the other funny thing is, so as we all like generally have seen like in cartoons how we grew up, so things like Stegosaurus and Brontosaurus and T-Rex were not.
Mm-hmm.
They never lived together.
It's so interesting because like when you get all of those species like in a little bucket as tiny plastic toys or the way they're portrayed on educational shows, it is bizarre to realize they lived like not millennia apart, but years and years apart.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a really cool TV show on PBS Kids called Dinosaur Train that actually uh they let you know that they're like they tell you the different names: Pleistocene, the Jurassic, the Triassic. They tell you all
Mm-hmm.
those different names and stuff, and they tell you the most commonly accepted nowadays nomenclature for dinosaurs. So, like, dinosaurs and space stuff used to be something I was really big in as a kid, so I know a little bit about
Yeah.
dinosaur stuff. So names like Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus, and T-Rex, those aren't actually the names of the dinosaurs. Those aren't their names.
Okay.
Tyrannosaurus Rex is not that dinosaur's name. It has other names.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a really so like that is one of the places in science where the most just arguments of naming convention happens, is because most dinosaurs have like 4 or 5 different names,
Really?
and only like 1 or 2 of those names is the household known name, which is usually the wrong name
Right.
for the thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so like and so like a lot of the names we know for dinosaurs, this isn't really their names. Like it's not Brontosaurus, it's another type of thing. And honestly, like adding Saurus to the end of things was also just a terrible naming convention, because basically
It kind of is, yeah.
all of it is just basically we're just saying giant thunder. It's like spiky giant thunder lizard is like the name of dinosaur. We're like, okay, small armed thunder lizard. Okay, yay. But in general, humans don't naming convention well at all. We just don't.
You know, that's very true. Yeah.
So Sahara Desert. Do you know what Sahara means?
No, I don't.
Desert.
Oh, well.
So
That's
it's the
creative.
desert.
Yeah.
The Nile River, either the Nile or the Amazon, one of the two of them means the Great River. So it's the Great River. Now you've got things like a movie, which is for a moving picture, or a movie. It moves, so it's a movie. They got movies and talkies. Walkie-talkie. Yeah, we don't name. We do not name well at all.
No, we really don't.
A lot of people in Britain can also tell in the UK, because they have on the Avon is like the name for every river and every place in there. Which the reason why I know about that is because William Shakespeare was born or buried at an Avon place on the Avon.
Yes.
But then when you go and look that up, there's like everything is on the Avon there.
Yeah. So we could have been like scattered to the winds and that still would have been accurate.
Yep. Yeah, everything is just the most. We as humans, we just do not know how to name things. But then again, naming is something entirely our own invention that we feel is super important to do, and we can't even do it right.
Yeah. And the thing, a lot of it you can tell comes from just cultures were very isolated. People were very short-sighted. Like you can name three things that are very different, very similarly, or people did it in a very, very narrow way, not realizing that calling something like the desert, like that's not the only desert, man. But at the time when this nomenclature was created,
That
people
was the
didn't
Great
realize how
Desert.
vast the world is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the Great Desert. So you called it Sahara, and then
Mm-hmm.
later on, as things became more populated, languages expand. We're like, well, that desert is, we called it the Sahara, so it's obviously the Sahara Desert, not realizing you just went
Mm-hmm.
desert.
Yeah.
But if you also think about it, like how we don't name well is a lot of tribal cultural names, things uh, like let's say La Raza, that's
Mm-hmm.
Mexican for the race, which that means them. That's
Yeah.
what they call their people. So a lot of names like that is just the people,
Mm-hmm.
the race. So most tribal names, if you translate it into their language, then back into English, their tribe's name is the people.
Yeah.
So who are you? We are the people, but we said it in this word, like Ruska or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, that's obviously they're the Russians, right? But that just means they're
Yeah.
the people. Because they are. They are the people of that area. And what would you call
Yeah.
yourself? Because if you only had knowledge of just you in this area, you are the
Yeah.
people of that area. You're the
Yeah,
people.
why would you specify otherwise? We're the people up here in the cold, scary place. Like you're the only people that matter that you're aware of, so you wouldn't create those specifications.
Right? So you're just the people, and whatever that word is in your tongue has now become the name of your people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's another fascinating thing is just how words are like perverted or their meaning is completely changed when a word from one language is used in another language.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the way people of a different language perceive that word is completely different than the actual definition or meaning of it in the native language it was created in.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. That's why a lot of cultures, a lot of Native American cultures that don't exist anymore, a lot of our state names came from mispronunciations of what they called their area.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of our state names are poorly translated Native American and French Trapper languages, because the French
Ah,
Trapper language is a little bit different than regular French.
okay.
So our country, America, is a mishmash of French, Native, Indigenous, First Peoples, the tribes people, whatever we're supposed to use now. The
Mm-hmm.
Indians, them Indians. No offense to any of my Native American listeners. Like, if he weren't in boot camp right now, he'd make a joke, because there's a buddy named Dean Bronze Gauntlet. He's in boot camp right now. Most everybody on chat knows a
Yeah.
Dean. Um, but it's that and German, and various things like that have kind of mashed together, and so that's what our language and how some of our state names is like. If you look at some of the state names and you look at the original spellings, you're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
How the hell? But then when you try to listen to the word, and then you would imagine some local yokel dumbass who can barely even speak English is trying to pronounce Chistakasakawan, and they're like, Saskatchewan, so we'll call that place Ohio. Because part
Exactly.
of the word had a word that sounded like Ohio in it, and they could say nothing else out of
Mm-hmm.
it. So it became
I mean, it
Ohio.
is interesting. Yeah.
And I mean, you think about, and then another easy way to think about it is like, Southerners, we say things like y'all and fishing and working. We take letters off. It's kind of like that too. Instead of them saying the whole fishing, because they were just local yokel country bumpkins who could barely even speak English, it'd be fishing. So the place became known as, fishing instead of, fishing.
Yeah.
Sort of an example there.
Yeah, it is interesting. Every little place kind of creates their own language.
Yeah.
As long as the syllables you say impart the meaning that you need to impart and other people understand that, it's fascinating how many different little languages have branched off from different regions.
Oh, I have somebody who wants to see the axe again. 217. Okay, that was right now. Okay, well, Assassin. It's right
Hi,
here, buddy.
Assassin. I know him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he comes onto your streams. Yeah. There you go,
Yeah.
bud. Here's the axe. It's super gorgeous, beautiful, sexy, manly toy. I mean, I guess a woman could also, experience the sexual pleasures of an axe. I don't do anything like that to the axe. I cuddle it at night. We keep our clothes on, okay? Because at night, it wears this little sexy leather bikini number, okay? But we keep it, it's consensual and platonic, okay? Oh, right. Difference. I forgot. BT and BC. Right. Well, Assassin, I've probably told you this before, but when I was graduating from high school, I was going to join the United States Marine Corps, so boot camp was where I was going to go. And the only reason I did not join the United States Marine Corps is because our illustrious President George W. brought us to Iraq, and I was very uncomfortable with that whole war. So I didn't. I ended up not joining, even though a lot of me regrets that. Like, I don't regret not joining in the sense that I've known that I would have probably have been tossed in the field, because joining the Marine Corps. So the Army allows you, and Assassin can, fact check me on this. As far as I know, the Army and maybe the Navy, you're able to get a guaranteed on paper, this is what your job is. But when you join something like the Marine Corps, you don't usually get anything like that. So you might be getting to go, say you want to go do this particular job, you might end up not being that. They might say, well, we need you over here instead. So you don't really get a guaranteed specific job. And because I knew that, and I was very young, fit, I would have been perfect to just slap some BDUs on a ballistic vest and a weapon in his hand and said, okay, point and shoot at enemy, try not to die.
Yeah.
And so that scared the crap out of me at 18, 19 years old. That scared the crap out of me. So I went, let's maybe rethink that. And so I called my recruiter and I went, Bud, I'm sorry, but I can't do this. And he was like, no, I get it, but we're going to miss you. And I'm like, I know, because I had really high ASVAB. I was set to go to MEPS. Like, I was just waiting on the next available MEPS appointment. I don't know if you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what MEPS is?
No, I've heard it, but
medical examination process. I'm sure Assassin can give you the total thing, but basically it's a medical examination where they they poke and prod you. They make sure that you can do the jumping jacks, the running. You can do all the physical fitness, and everything is good. And then they'll give you your shots and stuff like that. And then you get processed to go to. For me, would have been boot camp. Then I get processed to go to boot camp after I have been. So you get accepted with MEPS. Then you get processed to go into boot camp. You finish boot camp. You wait to then be processed again after boot camp. And then you become property of the U.S. government.
Okay, yeah.
And by literally property, I mean you are property. Like, you can't get a haircut unapproved.
Chill, man.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing.
Well, if you really think about it, it kind of has to work that way, because if you're going to be going out and doing the job that you need to do, you need to be this machine that has this set way of doing things that we know what's happening on paper, so we know what each troop is doing, what they're going to, we know what's going on. So you can't just have some dude going, well, I'm just going to go shave my hair all weird and awkward, because then he's not maybe won't fit his helmet or his gear he's got to have or whatever. So keep everything standardized in a situation where standardization could potentially save lives.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So like I totally understand and get the whole government issue. When you're a GI, I get that. Medical enlistment processing stations. Yep. See, yeah, I told you he had the MAPS answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Assassin, when I was going to join the Marine Corps, I was joining the intel area. I was going to be somebody who was going to be looking at radar material, maps, drones, and basically helping people like you who had been on the ground and giving you guys the information that you needed. Actually, you probably would have gotten some of whatever data that I was getting, but I was going to be trying to work specifically towards command station stuff with the guys doing the real Black Ops undercover type sort of things. I mean, obviously I probably would have started out just doing basic intel, but that was my goal in the Marine Corps. I was going to go deep intel, where I was going to be able to take all sorts of data and make it happen.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because I had super high ASVAB. Like, it was just, all that shit was easy, and that's where I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to do. I knew I was going to be able to do it. I mean, honestly, I wanted to be a guy that would, find the secret tapes, grab the secret tapes, head back to the base with the tapes. That's kind of where I wanted to be. And I might have eventually have been something like that, but more than likely I would have been some sort of command-based desk jockey, but doing the important desk jockey shit where my data that I'm able to sort through is putting the actual people's lives in my hand. Like, that was where I was going to be. That's where I wanted to be. And I didn't feel like them potentially just slapping some BDUs, a ballistic vest, and a gun in my hand was necessarily going to allow me to keep doing that successfully. But lots of me regret not just saying fuck it and doing it anyway. Because there's so many things I felt like I would have benefited from the military that I didn't get,
Yeah.
Yeah, onion head. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how I am but I'm super supportive of military and a lot of the stuff from military personnel and just their general stuff, even though I do know that there is a lot of issues and a lot of people get upset with them going to wars and stuff, but it's not really the military that's going to the war, it's the politicians dragging the military into war.
Right.
And that's even like with the high enough, because like I feel like if you're like a 4 or 5-star general, you're not really a military man anymore. You're a politician, and those are the type of folks that bring us into wars too, along with like senators who really probably have no fucking clue what they're doing anyway, but they bring us to wars. Right. And yeah, and I also I have a lot of issues with how veterans really get shafted in this country and other countries, man. Like I hear about the veterans in like Australia, they get shafted even harder than U.S. veterans. And
that's hard to imagine.
Yeah, no, because our vets here get fucking terribly shafted. And their mental health system in this country, military mental health isn't really a thing. It's shut up, conform, and just take more pills and revolving door. There's no real massive trying to help. Now, there are certain small things, or maybe some people in groups or individuals that are doing certain things like that. And I have liked hearing about how Certain military places are not able to use THC and CBD, and some places are able to use hallucinogenics for supportive care. But still, there doesn't. It's like these women and men, usually men, they'll go through all this horrible. They go through a lot of psychological stress getting trained to become a soldier, and then if they had the misfortune and/or fortune to go over into war, now they got all of that. And then you toss them back into regular society and go, be a regular citizen. But I've been trained to wake up and do these things for the last handful of years, or I see my buddies get blown up all the time, and they don't have anything for these people. They just drug them up, and I'm like, that's not helping them.
No,
This
it's
is
horrible.
not. Yeah, we don't help these people. We just don't. We don't even help our own people that are not even, gone to the military. But in some ways, I feel that I'm getting better mental health care as just a regular citizen than a military person would.
Yeah, it's horrible.
They might have super amazing military docs, but all these military folks have their hands tied in regulation. They have to do it the way that they're told to do it. They can't go outside of the space on the piece of paper or the box they have to check, the thing they have to punch into the machine. If it doesn't fit that space, they can't do anything. So if this person got a TBI but didn't really recognize the TBI symptoms, and is also, how they're trained, you don't speak up for that sort of shit. So they never told their doctor that when they got injured they had a TBI, so it's not in their record, which means now they can't put a TBI in the record to be like, stop giving me these medications. These things that I'm experiencing is from the TBI. I need you to give me TBI therapy. Now they can't get TBI therapy because it was never included in the original document.
Yeah.
Because everything is, A has to go to B, which that goes back to like how I said before. Like, I do understand how standardization is important, especially in the military. But there's other parts. There's those deeper parts of the military where like maybe that standardization needs to be a little more open-ended, so that hundreds of thousands of soldiers aren't falling through the cracks, because that is what is happening all over the place. They fall through the cracks because they're trained to behave a certain way, which means they're going to interact with the doctor in a certain way. Or they might not recognize an injury as a certain thing as an injury because they've been trained to put their head down and fight through certain situations. So these symptoms they're having, they're not going to recognize it. So they're not going to be able to tell the medical professional when they got the injury that these symptoms they're having came from the injury. Which if they don't do that, they'll never get support, because what they write down for the injury is what they're going to get the care for. What they report to their CO.
Yeah, you're trained out of being capable of even identifying those things in yourself almost. The things that are essential for you to be able to identify, to get help, in order for you to be a killing machine, to put it in a horrible, crude way. In order for you to be the most efficient tool, you're stripped of those things. And then you're just kind of tossed back into normal, mundane civilian life without ever being transitioned back. You have no resource. You're just cast aside like garbage after potentially the most noble and terrifying way possible.
Yeah. You cut out there. You still with? You're still, yes, you're still connected. Okay.
I am here. Yeah.
I think it was because I started to type. I was supposed to be after we got done streaming that I was gonna go pop in. I have a D&D campaign that I don't run it. I'm just a character in it, but I noticed that they've started without me. Oh well.
Oh no, that's not good.
Oh well, I also need to eat too, so I'm actually gonna probably end the stream and grab something to eat really quick, and then I'm gonna have to go over there to that. But it was a lot of fun chatting with you when we were able to.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on. I like having guests and stuff, and if you ever want to come back again, let us know. Or if you want to be want to like maybe be a co-host, maybe next Sunday you and I could have some other guests on, and we could, have fun technical difficulties with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me stop the stream here on YouTube before I close it up here on Discord. Okay, well, see everybody next Sunday for, I don't know, maybe another casual chat stream, maybe a gaming stream. We don't know. I'll let you guys know in the week what I decide on, and if Chat-Mort